An important part of our job at the Papio-Missouri River NRD is to protect, manage, and enhance our state's natural resources, including water and wildlife. Today we're going to explore some of our native aquatic animals here in Nebraska. Aquatic animals, meaning animals that live at least part of their lives in water, have unique adaptations, allowing them to survive in these aquatic environments. Let's check some out. The first is one most people think of when they think of aquatic animals: a turtle. Did you know Nebraska is home to 9 different species of turtles? 8 of the 9 species are aquatic. Turtles have a variety of adaptations that give them an upper hand in aquatic habitats. Before we jump into a specific species, let's talk about the most obvious turtle adaptation: the shell. Each species has a shell that varies in size, shape, coloration, and even purpose. Some are soft, some are hard, some are dome-shaped, and some are really big. We have a handful of each of these in our state. Why do you think turtles have evolved to have a shell? It comes at a cost. Lugging a big shell around really slows a turtle down. That's right, a turtle's shell has evolved to provide protection. The shell is made up of roughly 50 different bones that have fused together, including the spine and ribs. This means turtles do not leave their shells, but rather grow with their shells. Speaking of growing with their shells, check out this baby western painted turtle. You might notice his extreme cuteness and size. This little turtle likely hatched out of an egg within the last week or 2. At that age, they can be about the size of a quarter. Secondly, you'll notice his bright colors. This is one of their adaptations. The brightly colored plastron, or part of the shell that covers the belly and chest of a turtle, can be beautiful colors of orange, yellow, or red, and will fade as the turtle ages. This coloration is believed to provide camouflage while swimming in the water, blending in with the sun reflecting off the water. Painted turtles are also famous for their wintering habits. Any guesses on what a turtle does to survive a cold Nebraska winter? They don't head south for the winter. That would be a long trip. Instead, they brumate. They go to the bottom of a body of water they inhabit and breathe through their bottoms. This is called cloacal respiration. All turtles are cold-blooded or ectothermic, so when they slow their body down as the temps become colder and colder, their heart rate slows down to 1 beat every 5 to 10 minutes. An impressive strategy for surviving in a frozen lake. As the ice melts and temperatures increase, these turtles will begin to move around and go back to their daily activities. Has anyone ever walked by a turtle sitting on a log sunning itself? Did the turtle pull its limbs into its shell, or did it jump into the water? Usually they jump into the water. You'd think they'd utilize that strong armor, but aquatic turtles can't fully hide in their shells, leaving limbs and their heads somewhat unprotected. Instead, they have evolved webbing between their toes. As you can probably guess, this gives them the ability to swim quickly, propelling their bodies through the water. Turtles might not be winning any land speed records, but in water, they are very fast and agile, able to outswim many predators. Check out this guy. Meet Frank, our snapping turtle. Raise your hand if you've ever encountered a snapping turtle. Snapping turtles are very rarely seen outside of the water. They are one of the most aquatic species you'll find in Nebraska. Most instances they are seen crossing roads or nature trails. It is likely a female snapper traveling to lay her eggs in the summer months. Did you know snapping turtles lay up to 60 eggs at one time? Imagine having 59 brothers and sisters. Like all reptiles, turtles are not good parents and play no part in raising their young. Researchers believe turtles, snakes, and lizards lay so many eggs as a strategy to increase the population. The more eggs laid, the more opportunity for survival. Snapping turtles' shells fit a bit differently than our painted turtle. Notice the difference in shape. Snappers have 3 ridges down the carapace, or the back of the shell, instead of a smooth shell. The other major difference is the plastron. They have hardly any shell protection on the bottom side of their bodies. This tells us that snapping turtles don't need nearly as much protection on the bottom, as they prefer to dwell at the bottom of the body of water. Predators aren't attacking from below. Speaking of predators, snapping turtles as full-grown adults don't have many predators. Their size alone may frighten off potential predators. Most common snapping turtles can get to be 30+ pounds as adults and can live for 50 or more years. When protecting themselves from predators, these turtles can reach their necks out exceptionally far to grab food or during an encounter with a possible threat. Though known to be an aggressive turtle, this species is usually only aggressive if found out of water and is being agitated. While in the water, they are often very docile and will swim away from any bothersome critters or activity. Let's move on to another reptile species that is semi-aquatic. Garter snakes. In Nebraska, there are 4 species of garter snakes, and all 4 of these species prefer habitat near water. Whether it's a wet prairie or meadow, or woodland edges near permanent bodies of water, this is where they prefer to be. But they're not super picky either. They can also be found in towns and cities, making them one of the most common snakes in eastern Nebraska. Garter snakes are slender snake species, reaching a max length of 4 feet, but are most commonly 2 to 3 feet in size. With 4 different species living in Nebraska, it may be difficult to identify each species, but most garter snakes, regardless of species, have a line running down their backs. These harmless snakes are excellent swimmers. If you keep an eye out, you may see them gliding on the surface of a pond, lake, or stream. Habitat situated near water greatly expands their food options and availability. These snakes are known to eat a variety of insects, fish, amphibians, and their larvae, and even small mammals. Garter snakes benefit from being near water, as it also provides a quick getaway from predators. Garter snakes have a lot of potential predators, including owls, hawks, raccoons, snapping turtles, and even frogs eating young garters. Are you ready to check out a semi-aquatic mammal? This mammal is the largest rodent in all of North America, weighing in as an adult between 30 and 65 pounds. Can you guess what it is? That's right, this is a beaver. Beavers live across the state of Nebraska and can be found in most of the U.S. They've got a wide range as they are highly adaptable mammals, living almost anywhere there is a year-round source of water. If you've ever gone for a swim, you may have taken goggles or flippers with you to enhance your ability to see and move quicker through the water. Beavers are fortunate to not need any of these tools, as they already have them. Like we use goggles to allow us to see underwater, beavers, and many other critters, have what's called a nictitating membrane. A nictitating membrane is a thin, clear membrane that covers their eyes when they dive underwater. It allows them to see, as well as protects their eyes. Maybe you've used goggles with the nose plug to avoid getting water in your nose. Beavers have a valve that closes both their nose and ears. This allows beavers to stay underwater for up to 15 minutes. And similar to using flippers, beavers have webbed hind feet they use to propel themselves through the water. The size of the hind feet are significantly bigger than the non-webbed front feet. One of the most memorable beaver characteristics is the tail. This large, flat, scaly-looking tail is another swimming adaptation, acting as a rudder when swimming, giving the animal better directional ability when underwater. The tail is also used for communication purposes. Beavers will slap their tail on the surface of the water to warn others of potential predators. Spending so much of their time in the water, you may wonder how they stay warm, especially when it gets cold. Beavers have a thick layer of fat that helps keep them warm. Their fur consists of coarse, longer hairs and fine inner hair, making up a thick coat. Their bodies also secrete an oily substance from a gland that beavers will use to waterproof their fur. They will spread that oil all over their fur, grooming themselves regularly to ensure their coat stays warm and dry. Why might a beaver be spending so much time in the water? Good, that's where they live. Beavers live in a lodge. No, not that kind of lodge. Lodges are dome-shaped homes constructed of sticks, grasses, mud, and rocks. Typically, a lodge will be built surrounded completely by water, with entrances only available underwater for extra security, keeping a beaver well protected from predators. The primary living space is situated above the water with well-insulated walls and a roof. They even build a small chimney-like ventilation shaft at the top of the lodge for fresh air. Beavers are most famous for building dams. Dams, like lodges, are built of a variety of logs, sticks, mud, and rocks. Why build a dam though? Beavers will build these dams to flood an area, creating an ideal habitat for a lodge and allowing them to access food via the water. Beavers have earned the nickname nature's engineers. They are incredible builders. However, this hasn't always benefited humans, as many properties and valuable resources have been flooded by their dams. Let's see one more aquatic critter. The western tiger salamander starts its life in water, as do all amphibians. The mother lays anywhere from 50 to 200 eggs, preferably in a temporary water body, as the eggs and hatchlings can make for an easy meal for fish. After 4 weeks, the eggs hatch, producing aquatic larvae that look like this. In the larva stage, they don't initially look similar to their terrestrial parents, with their external, feathery gills and long dorsal fin. Over a period of 2 to 6 months, these larvae will grow front legs and then back legs, eventually growing into a terrestrial adult themselves. As an adult tiger salamander, this species spends a lot of its time underground. They burrow in soft soil or take over another critter's burrow. They prefer to live close to water and in moist woodland areas. This species can be found throughout the entire state. However, in the last 21 years, tiger salamanders have disappeared from the Omaha metro. Local experts are unsure on the exact cause behind their disappearance, but expect that it is likely a combination of contaminated water sources and lack of proper habitat due to urban sprawl. This species gets their name from the stripes and spots on their bodies, looking somewhat tiger-like. This green, yellow, black coloration gives them great camouflage as they hunt for insects, a great physical adaptation. But the coolest adaptation of a salamander is their ability to regenerate. Regeneration is the process of regrowing a portion of your body. Let's say a salamander has a run-in with a raccoon. The raccoon gets the salamander's leg. Luckily, these guys can regrow that leg. Over a period of 3 months, their bodies slowly grow the missing limb back, exactly how it was, including bone, cartilage, and skin. Really cool. Even their footprints are identical. The tiger salamander, as an amphibian, has very smooth, slimy, and porous skin. This allows them to breathe oxygen through their skin, called cutaneous respiration. Unfortunately, this means their skin is extremely vulnerable to contaminants and pollutants. Thus, the presence of this species indicates a healthy environment, whereas the lack of presence, especially a sudden lack of population, can warn scientists of potential threats in our waters or ecosystem, also known as an indicator species. As you know, water is an essential part of life. Whether a human, fish, bird, or even a tree, you require clean water to sustain life. Wildlife living in aquatic habitats are able to give us a sneak peek about the health of our environments and the quality of our water. If a pond, lake, wetland, or stream has an abundant variety of wildlife, including diverse macroinvertebrate species, fish, turtles, and amphibians, there is a good chance that water is of relatively good quality. Bodies of water that have been contaminated may not support aquatic life, especially that of amphibians, or only a few pollution-tolerant species present. This is an excellent reminder of how important it is to take care of our environment, as we are not the only ones affected by our actions. That's why the Papio-NRD is hard at work protecting this valuable resource. Through projects like reservoirs, flood control structures, and water quality projects, the Papio-NRD is finding innovative ways to keep people safe while improving habitat for our native wildlife. Thanks for joining us as we discover local aquatic animals and their unique adaptations. For more information about the Papio-Missouri River NRD, you can find us on all the social media platforms or by checking out our website at www.papionrd.org.